when something goes south, the artist is never to blame. So they're always look to blame other people. Blame the manager, blame the lawyer, blame the agent, blame everybody else. So it's not like lawyers are immune from
that wrath.
From that wrath when things don't go well.
Yeah.
So I'm always on guard all the time. Now, fortunately in my career, I haven't really had many of those situations, really hardly any, just because I'm such a good person. I always do the right thing.
Put the good energy out there.
And I'm always honest and I'm always straightforward, so people don't really want to mess with me.
Yeah.
Even if they want to blame somebody, they're like, oh, we can't blame Gary because Gary always does his best.
Yeah.
But you can never really sit there and rest easy. It's a stressful business. And believe me, I take on a lot of stress every day. It's not this like all smiley, happy job. I mean, it's a lot of stress because I'm the one place that all my clients come to calm them down.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
when things seem like they're spiraling out of control, people need to know they can call Gary, and Gary will ground them.
Yeah.
He'll be the rock. He's always steady, and I'm good at that. But it takes a toll. It's not easy to be that rock all the time.
No.
So believe me, everything has its positives and negatives.
You're like, I was gonna say you're like a police officer in a way. Like police officers see a lot of bad shit, and you see a lot of bad shit, don't you?
I do. I see stuff that would just really, make your skin crawl that people do to each other. Because the music business is a very exploitative business. You're talking about people's dreams, and whenever you've got artists running around who so desperately want something to happen for them, they're easy prey. And believe me, this town has the most talented artists in the world. I believe that. They also have the most talented hustlers.
Oh, wow. Well said, man.
It's like when I look out of my window over the LA basin, I see a lot of sheep and I see a lot of wolves. And hopefully I try and save as many sheep as possible from the wolves. That's part of my job, but I can't save them all.
Oh my God. You're like the Humane Society, Gary. It's awesome.
It's true.
You've even told me about where, deals will come into play and like lifelong friends who are figuring out their structure and splits and all that. You've seen long friendships just fucking fall apart, right? Over a deal.
Of course.
I mean...
And it's not just over money. I mean, money is part of it, but I've seen deals fall apart over whose name is going to go first in a credit. I mean, there's a lot of emotions at stake when it comes to art like this. People get really invested in their art.
Yeah.
And it becomes precious to them. And so they're not rational about it. I literally had a deal not too long ago where it was held up for almost 6 months because these two producers could not agree whose name was going to produce by X and Y.
And who was going to be X,
who was going to be who, and who was going to be Y.
And these people had a history with each other?
They had a history.
Okay.
Yeah. And they had done other deals together, and it was always X was always first, and X was my guy. And all of a sudden, Y one day decided, you know what? I'm tired of you always being first. I want to be first.
And what was the result? What happened?
Well, ultimately, X went first because Y finally broke down and said, I need my money. Because X was a little more successful and was able to wait it out. But I mean, I could not believe the conversations I had with Y's lawyer saying, and unfortunately, they never worked together after that because Y decided to stand up and say, wait a minute, I want to go first.
Oh.
And they ended up fighting over it. It killed an entire wonderful collaboration where they had produced a lot of hit records together.
That sounds like a total ego getting the best of somebody, though, doesn't it?
You never know. Yeah, of course, but you never know where it's coming from. You never know if it's somebody talking in their ear. You never know if it's a girlfriend or somebody else saying, why are you always second? But you never know what gets in somebody's head.
That's true. Have you seen, say a brand new artist just coming out, nobody gives a shit about that new artist. And then once some success starts setting in,
totally.
All of a sudden, people are clamoring. There's people getting in the artist's ear. It's almost like I'm envisioning like blood in the water. And sharks come, you know what I mean?
Again, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And some of the sharks are good sharks. I mean, some of the sharks are the kind of sharks you want. You know, you want, when the blood's in the water, you want the big agent at William Morris. Unfortunately, a lot of times in our business, success tends to happen quickly when it happens. Even though you may have toiled for a lot of years to get there, when it happens, it tends to happen quick.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you're unprepared for it. And so you don't, it's not like most businesses, when you get successful, it happens sort of gradually. You get one successful restaurant, then you open up another one, and then you go buy a house to help you with taxes, and you start getting investments. It's like you have a chance to sort of ramp up and learn how to be a good business person.
It's true.
But artists, a lot of times, they're not prepared for it. It happens really fast, and then all of a sudden, every friend they ever had, every family member they ever had is like, oh, wow, can you help me out? Can you give me a loan? Now you're rich and famous. And all of a sudden, they've got entourages of people that want to just hang around and be around them, and they've got these huge expenses, and it's like it gets really overwhelming, and artists a lot of times just don't know how to handle it. And sometimes just the weight of all that brings them down.